made a concept or a video for the first concept builder, which we would be doing, which would be position time graphs conceptual analysis. And remember, to sign in, you're going to click up here under your account. When you click that, hopefully it's got your reminder for your login and your password. Your login was your school email. I believe initially your password was your 6-digit lunch ID, but you could reset that. At any rate, the concept builder that I'm talking about this time is the position time graphs numerical analysis. So when you click on that, you should see your name here. That lets you know that you've logged in. If you don't see that, I'm not going to know what you did, so you need to screenshot everything when you get the trophies. So these are the only two for the numerical analysis that you need to do. This one for 6 out of 10 points, this one for 8 out of 10 points, do them both 10 out of 10 points. This is beyond what we've talked about in class. If you want to try it for a little bit of a bonus, that's fine, but definitely focus on these two. So I'm going to do an example of each of these. So this says position time graph, concept builders below. Position time graph describes an object's motion. Use overall to find the displacement in meters of object during the 10 seconds of motion. These can ask you to figure out displacement or distance. So in this case, displacement is final position minus initial position. Here my final position is at 8 meters. My initial position is at 2 meters. So my displacement would be final minus initial. That's 8 minus 2. That'd be plus 6 meters. If it was asking for distance, here I start at 2 meters, go up to 12. That's 10 meters of distance. Then I go from 12 to 8. That's 4 meters of distance. So that 10 plus 4 would be 14 meters of distance. But in this case, it's asking about displacement, which is a change in position. And remember, you can go to the Help Me menu. You could either learn more on the physics classroom about the difference between those. You could learn how to think about this question, and then it could tell you the basic idea as well. Okay. So in this case, I'm going to bring the calculator pad up. You could type it in here. It's a little weird if you have a positive number. You just type it in. It says positive or negative sign. So I end up at 8. I start at 2. So that should be a 6. If you want it to be negative, you put the negative afterwards. But I just want it to be positive, so it doesn't show it as a positive. It just shows that. So now I can check my answer, and that's okay. So notice this one, it's asking about the distance. So I'd have to figure out the distance during this leg, add it to the distance in this leg, add it to the distance in this leg. So if it was just displacement, I'd look at my final position minus my initial position, and that's all I'd have to do. I'm going to go back to the main menu. Again, you want to finish the activity, get this nice colored in gold so that you get the points for that. But I didn't want to take the time to make a super long video. So these are position time graphs. This is asking to determine the velocity in meters per second of the object. Use the appropriate positive or negative sign. So in this case, you have to figure out the slope of the graph, because the slope of a position time graph tells us the velocity. So in this case, I start at 5 meters. I end up at 15 meters. It took 5 seconds. 15 minus 5 is 10 meters of displacement divided by 5 seconds. That should end up being 2 meters per second. Actually, I'm going to put a wrong number in. I'll put 29. And so you'll see, hey, if it does that, it's ODRATS. Now in this case, I've got a negative 1. So once again, you can go to the Help Me. You can think about how to figure this out, the slope of a position time graph and the meaning of the slope. You can think about the situation. You can think about this particular question. It gives you ideas about how to think about it to get the slope. So there's actually quite a bit of information there. So going back to this starts at 15 meters, ends at 5 meters. So my change in position is negative 10 meters. That's 5 minus 15 divided by 10 seconds. So this should be a negative 2 meters per second. I can't put the negative in first until I have the 2 in. So now I'm going to put negative. I'm going to enter that. Then I'm going to check my answer. And that's okay. And again, you'd want to go through all 4 of these. Remember, if you miss one, it's going to make you repeat things again, and it's going to give you different numbers than you had before. So for example, this would be 8 minus 2 is 6. 6 divided by 5 would be 1.2 meters per second, I believe. And then you stay on that one, or it makes it yellow, pardon me, but you'll have to do another one there. So if you get it right the first time, you don't have to do that. At any rate, hopefully this helps.